Hello, go ahead and find lesson 9. We're going to start there. As always, these videos go pretty quick, so if you need it to go slower, you can adjust your speed or pause it whenever you need. We are right around the corner from a test, so everything in here should be review. Everything in here should be something that you might want to try before the video shows you. So if that's the case, you could work a problem, pause it, and then see if you got that problem right. So feel free to test yourself. First part, lesson 9, determine the solution to each system of linear equations. So if you look carefully, you can see that these two have patterns. And you can look right here to determine what this pattern is. And you can look right here to see what this pattern is. So it looks like this is growing by 2, which is the same thing as y equals 2x. And then if you look at the zero term is 7, so that means it starts at 7. And over here it looks like it is going up. Up by how much? 5. So that's y equals 5x. Can you see the 0 on here? The 0 is 4. So that would be y equals 5x plus 4. And what it wants us to do is to see if we can find the coordinate that matches. So if you look carefully at this set, none of the coordinates match except 1. See if you can find the matching coordinate. And if you found 1, 9, that's correct. That's our solution. The solution is 1, 9. That's the first problem. Next problem. It's giving us now the equations, and it wants us to find the solution. We've learned that we can make a table to do this. We've learned that we can graph this. Everybody's really good at graphing. And we've also learned how to solve. Okay? And so at some point, you're going to have to figure out which one of those is the best for you. And when you have a test and the test gives you something like this, what are you going to do? Your backup definitely is graphing, but you should be able to solve these. Okay, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to solve this for x and then plug back in for y. Notice that both of these are y equals, so this equation is going to be equal to this. Okay, so 2x minus 9 equals 3x minus 21. We'll put that over here. 2x minus 9 equals 3x minus 21. So notice that that is the top part, and that's the bottom equation, and we're setting them equal to each other, and now we just solve for x. If you want to practice solving for x here, one of these is on your test for sure, so if you want to practice, go ahead and pause it. The first thing we're going to do is subtract 3x on both sides and add 9 on both sides. So that gets rid of our 3x's, that gets rid of our 9's. We have this problem to solve and this problem to solve. And definitely use a calculator. If you don't have a calculator, grab a calculator, pause it, grab one. This is negative x. And negative 21 plus 9 is negative 12. And the negatives should cancel out, so we're going to divide both sides by -1, and x equals 12. And we're only halfway there because our answer is, now we know the answer is going to start with 12. But we have to plug 12 back into one of these equations, and it's your call. They're both really similar, so I'll just choose the top one. So y equals 2x minus 9. That's what I chose. Now plug in for x. Two times 12 is 24, so y equals 24 minus 9. And then use your calculator and figure out what 24 minus 9 is. $15. Go back and finish our solution. The answer is 12, 15. The third problem is already graphed for you, and it's just asking you to tell me what this coordinate is right here. The 0 line is right here. This right here where I'm pointing, that's 0, 0. So it looks like it's over 1 up 2. So the solution is 1, 2. Next page. Here's another one. If you want to try to figure it out for yourself, go ahead and pause. Otherwise, I'm going to tell you. Zero, 0 looks like it's right here. So if we're going to go down to this one, we're going to go to the left 2. That's -2. 1, 2, 3, 4. So -2, -4. That's our solution. All right, you have one of these on the test, so if you want to try it yourself, go ahead and pause. If you're not trying it yourself, then here we go. This is x equals this value, which means all of this is x. So I'm going to plug that in for x right here. And it's going to look like this. 2, same 2, see that 2? Same 2. And then x, this is all x. So times the quantity of 5y plus 1. See, that's the same thing as 2x. And then you have to write the rest of it. Minus 2y equals 18. So this is what we're solving. We'll solve for y, and then we'll plug back in for x. Again, if you want to try now solving, pause it. All right, we're going to distribute first. 2 times 5y is 10y. 2 times 1 is 2. Bring down the 2y and the 18. Before you move anything, the magic word here, we got to combine. And I'm just going to write that because most kids, that's where they go wrong. They don't combine first. So 10y take away 2y is 8y. Bring down the plus 2, bring down the 18. Now go ahead and move something. And since there's no letters over here, we're just going to minus 2 on both sides. And now divide. Divide by what? 8. And the answer is y equals 2. How come I'm not done yet? Because 2 is only half of our answer. We need the x. So let's go back over here where it says x. And let's write x equals 5, instead of y, put the 2 in. See that? Now that's 10 plus 1, which is 11. We have our x, we have our solution, 11 comma 2. Let's see if you guys can find the matching coordinate. If you know where it is, go ahead and circle it, and that's the solution. You should have circled this one. The solution is -2, 45. That's the solution. All right, we're moving on. This problem here says solve each system of equations using some algebra. So we are going to solve, and we're going to probably use some elimination. This is good for your notes. Elimination. You have problems on your test, and it looks just like this. So good thing you can use these notes. Okay, at first glance, the goal is to cancel x or y, but if I add these together, it's 4x and 3y, so nothing cancels. So I have to make them cancel. And the easiest way to do that is to throw a negative into the top or the bottom to make one of these negative. So I'm going to put in parentheses the entire top and put a -1 on the outside. And I'm going to distribute the negative into everything on top. And now I have a new equation. I have -2x and a -y and a -3. So these now cancel because of what I did. So I'm going to focus on solving this and solving this. So 2y minus y is just y. And 2 take away 3 is -1. And just like that, I have half my answer. But I need my x, and it's your choice. You can choose 1, 2, or 3 to throw in -1. You get to pick. I'm going to choose the top. Okay? Notice the top says 2x plus y equals -3, but y is -1. So it's going to be 2x minus 1 equals 3. I'll write it over here. So I'm choosing the top equation. This is the original. This is me plugging in my -1. Okay. Now I solve for x by adding 1 to both sides. I have 2x equals 4. Divide by 2 on both sides. X equals 2. Throw in 2 in my answer. There's my solution. 2 comma -1. If you need to watch that again, please do. Solving by elimination. If you take a look carefully, the 5y's are almost ready to cancel. So we just need to throw in what? If you want to pause and try to figure it out by yourself, this is the time. To be honest, like if anybody can solve these on their own, like that's huge. That's like getting an A. Remember? I said if anybody can graph, that's a C. If you can do substitution, that's a B. And if you can do elimination, now you're getting an A. And this is elimination. So we're going to throw in a negative into the top. So everything goes in parentheses. -1 on the outside, and it changes the sign of all three in the top to a -2x, a -5y, and a -3. And now I add these, and the y's will cancel now. X minus 2x is -x, and 6 minus 3 is 3. So I'm going to rewrite this over here. -x equals 3, just so I have some room. And I divide by a -1 on both sides. X equals -3. I have half my answer. And now you get to pick. Do I want to plug it in the top, middle, or bottom? And I will plug it into the top. So it says 2x plus 5y equals 3. 2x plus 5y equals 3. I just wrote the top again over here. Now I'm going to take this -3 and plug it in right there. 2 times -3 plus 5y equals 3. Now we're solving for y. If you need to pause it and do it yourself, go ahead. 2 times -3 is -6. And you're going to add 6 on both sides. And you're getting 5y equals 9. Divide by 5, 9/5. Not the prettiest. No one likes fractions, but you can just leave your answer as -3 and 9/5. Next. Take a look at what would need to cancel. Let's see. How would I cancel my x's? What would this have to be to cancel 2 x's? It would have to be a -2, right? But it's not a -2. So you got to make it a -2. And how do you do that? Except by multiplying. So we're going to multiply a -2 times the bottom. So -2 times x, -2 times 2y, and -2 times 8.5. You're definitely going to need a calculator for this one. So -2 times x is -2x. -2 times 2y is -4y. And -2 times 8.5 is -17. Now these cancel, so I'm just going to, those cancel. But I have to add the 0.5y to my -4y, which will be -3.5. And I have to add 3 and -17, which is -14. And now I will divide both sides by -3.5. You can use a calculator. Figure that out. I think it's 4. So y equals 4. That's only half my answer. I need the x, so I'm going to plug it in. Plug it into the top. Nobody really likes to mess with decimals, but this is a half, so I can deal with that. All right. So here's that work for the x value. 2x plus 0.5 parentheses 4, because that's what I solved for y, equals 3. Well, what is half of 4? It's 2, right? So let's just rewrite this with a 2 there. And now solve for x by subtracting 2 on both sides. 2x equals 1, because 3 take away 2 is 1. Divide by 2, and look, there's your half. X equals 1/2, and that's okay. I think I spare you on the test from, fractions like that. But it's important that you know how to do it. What are the steps? Do you know how to change the equations so that you can cancel something? Do you know what needs to be canceled? Here's another one. Looking here. What can we cancel? Probably the x's? Okay. And how do I cancel a 3x? It would have to be what? Now, this is a good chance to pause if you want to try this on your own, okay? But to cancel a 3x, this would have to be negative 3x, right? And it's not. So how do I make it a negative 3x? You multiply a negative 3 into the entire thing. Some 8th graders make the mistake of only multiplying it into there, but you have to multiply it into everything in that line. So now you have negative 3x, but you also have negative 6y, and you have 3. Now the 3x's cancel, so good job. I'm looking at 5y and negative 6y, and that is negative y. I'm going to write it down here. There's not a lot of room. And then negative 1 and 3 make 2. So I'm looking at this. Divide both sides by negative 1. Y is 2, negative 2. So as far as my solution goes, negative 2 is going to be my y value. How do you find the x? You plug it in, and you can plug it into top, middle, or the bottom. I'll do the middle this time. Looks a little cleaner. X plus 2y equals negative 1. I'm going to write that down. X plus 2y equals negative 1. I have my y value as negative 2, so I'm just going to plug that negative 2 right there. X plus 2 times negative 2 equals negative 1. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. So now I'm going to add 4 to both sides. And x is going to be 3. And I'll come over here to my coordinate, and I'll put 3 for x. My answer is 3 comma negative 2. We'll skip 11 for now. Most people won't know how to do that because of the fraction right there. But if you want to try it, you have to multiply a negative 3 here. Maybe I can give you a head start. Some kids will want to. It'll be a negative 3. The part that they get stumped on is negative 3 times this right here. So this is negative 3x, and this will be negative 6y. This is actually going to be 4. you can believe it or not. Negative 3 times 12 is negative 3 times 4 is 12, negative 12, and then negative 12 divided by negative 3 is 4. Okay, so if that helps you get a jump start on what to do, but that's all I'm going to do on that, because these would cancel, and you got to figure out the rest. It is doable. All right, moving on. We're not going to do anything on these two parts here, so let's move on. The backside here is domain and range, and we'll save that for another day. And same with that page there. So we'll save it. All right, we get to some word problems. We'll look at a couple of these, okay? 1 week, Carlos bought 2 bags of Brutus Bites and 3 bags of Milo Munchies for $42.50. The next week, he bought 5 bags of the Bites and 6 bags of the Munchies for $94.25. Based on the information, figure out the price of 1 bag of each type of dog food. Okay, dog food, got it. If you look carefully, it's basically giving us 2 equations, right? It's saying 2 Brutus and 3 Milo, right? So that's the same thing as like 2B for 2 Brutus plus 3M for Milo or Munchies, right? And that equals $42.50. Do you see that? So we made an equation. Can you make the other equation too? So it would be what? 5B plus 6M equals 94.25. So from that word problem, we made 2 equations. And now we solve by elimination. So we're going to use elimination. And I'm going to distribute a -2 into the top to make this -6 so that these cancel. So when I do that, that's going to change that to -4b. That goes to -6m. And this is going to be -85. So I'm going to rewrite those, okay? -4b, -6m, and a -85. That's my new equation after I multiplied -2 inside. I'm going to rewrite the bottom part just so I can see what cancels. Okay, so that's the same bottom piece, just moved over. These cancel. -4b and 5b make b. And b is going to be whatever 94.25 minus 85 is. 9.25, is that what it is? $9.25. Someone check that. 94.25 minus 85. I think it's 9.25. Okay, so 1 bag of Brutus Bites is $9.25. So what is 1 bag of Milo? Well, you take the Brutus, $9.25, and you get to plug it in. You can plug it into the top, the bottom, or the new one. Whatever. I'll go top. All right. So that means I'm going to do 2 times the Brutus Bites, which is $9.25. 25 cents. I'm going to add 3m equals 42.50. So I'll zoom in on that. That's the top equation with my 925. All right, 2 times 925 is 1850 plus 3m equals 42.50. Subtract 1850 from both sides, and you end up with 3m equals 42.50 minus 1850. Okay. I'm gonna go 34, 20, 24? 24? Yeah, I'm gonna go 24. Divide by 3. And Milo equals $8. So how do you write your answer? Well, technically, you've got your Brutus and your Milo answers in money. You can also put them in a coordinate answer, like the 925, I'm sorry, 925, comma, $8. So you could put it in a coordinate as well, but you've solved it. We've solved it. Okay. What I'd like you to do is, based on that explanation, if you're willing, to try number 4. Number 4 is the exact same thing we just did. It's got a little more information, like there can be more equations, but you only need 2 equations to solve. So you can see where it's like cat treats, 2 cat treats, 3 dog treats is 1850. And you can do like 2 cat, 2 dog is 14. And I would just use those 2 and make your equations and try to solve. That's what I would do. Pause it, give it a shot. For those of you not pausing, 2 cat treats and 3 dog treats is 1850, and 2 cat and 2 dog is 14. Then we can just throw a negative in to the top. So distribute, change it, distribute, and distribute. Our new equation is 2c minus 3d equals negative 1850. These cancel. This makes negative d and negative 4.5. I will divide by a negative on both sides. So the dog treats cost $4.50. How much do the cat treats cost? Well, you got to plug it in, either top, middle, or bottom. We can go middle, right here. 2c plus 2d equals 14. All right, we'll do that off to the side. 2c plus 2d equals 14. And we already know that dog treats are $4.50, so let's write it with the 450 in there. And 2 times 450 is $9, so 2C plus $9 equals 14. Subtract 9 on both sides, and you get 2C equals 5, and then divide by 2 on both sides, and cat treats equal $2.50. Because half of 5 is 2.5, so $2.50. So you got your cat treats and your dog treats. Cat treats cost $2.50. And there it goes. And that's all we're going to try on this page. So we're going to turn the page over. If you need to pause and look at it, go ahead. Here's another one. I just taught you how to do it. You can try it if you want. Okay? But that's all we're going to do for word problems today. There's also another one if you want to give it a shot. We can call that extra if you want to try it, and if you get it right or something, I can give you some little bonus. All right, turn it over here to the retrieval. We're going to solve the system of equations by graphing. This is our bread and butter. This is what we're the best at. Everybody knows how to do it. You will need a ruler, so pause if you need to grab a ruler. We got our graph. And now we're going to, and I think you should pause it to give it a shot, because I think everybody knows how to do it. So go ahead and pause, solve it, and then come back to me. For those not pausing, we're going to start here at the end. This is our starting value. So we're going to start there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's our start. This fraction tells us that we're going to go up this many and over this many. And same thing with this one, up and over. Okay? So from here, up 2 over 3 is there. And I'm just going to make a couple more dots, just in case. And I'm going to graph that line. Arrows. And then I'm going to do the next one. Same start right there. And also I'm going up 2 over 3. 3. And if you graph this correctly, it should look like a railroad track. And that's okay. This is a particular situation that you need to be aware of, where the slopes are identical. So same slope, okay? Which means if the slope is ever the same, it'll make parallel lines, okay? Parallel lines are like railroad tracks, right? They're never, ever, ever going to cross. But I told you the solution is where they meet. Well, it sounds like they're never going to meet, ever. And so you would write no solution. So something to add to your brain is same slope, parallel lines, railroad tracks, no solution. They're never going to cross. So me personally, like, let's say I'm doing like this, y equals 2x plus 5, and y equals 2x minus 7. I don't even graph it. I just look right here and go, oh, those are identical. So that's no solution. I don't even waste my time. Because same slope is parallel lines. Okay. Good note. Next page. Writing out each system of equations reminded Carlos of his work with solving systems of equations graphically. Show how the cost of each item shows up graphically in each system. In the solution process, record each system. Well, this is written in standard form. You see the way this. So this is standard form, and on your test, you will be asked to graph things in standard form. So this is great practice for your test. You need to remember to cover and divide. That's your tip. So we cover the 4D and we divide 36 divided by 12 in our calculator. And that's what C is. Okay, so 36 over 12 is 3. Then we cover 12 and we do 36 divided by 4. 36 divided by 4 is 9. So where do we plot these? We'll treat this like X, right? Treat this like Y. The X is right here, dog treats, right? And then the cat, right? So it looks like that the 9 is the X, so we'll put a dot at 9. And it looks like the 3 is the Y, so we'll come over here at 3. And that one's done, and we graph that. So cover, divide, plot, graph. Okay, let's try it. Cover, divide 30 divided by 6. That's 5. So C is 5. Go to 5 and put a dot at C, okay? And then cover the C, divide 30 divided by 10. That's 3. Come over here to 3. Put a dot. And graph. And that one's done. Cover, divide. Let's do another one. Pause it if you would like to try this on your own. Cover, divide. Cover. 18 divided by 6 is 3. So go to 3, put a dot. Cover. 18 divided by 2 is 9. Dot. Line. Thirty divided by 10 is 3. 30 divided by 6 is 5. I'm not sure why it's identical to the same one we just did, but it is. Both of these are exactly the same. It's weird. Cover and divide. This one tells you that D equals 1.5. Dog treats is 1.5, so we just go to 1.5. Put a dot down here. That's 1.5. And the other one is cover and divide, which is the same thing we just did. So 3 and 5. And 5. 5 and 3. So this one's going to be like this. The same again. And this one is just like a flat line going up. I'm sorry, there we go. So 5 and 3, make a line. This one's at 1.5 and then make a line straight up. And I'm not going to do this one, it seems like it's a lot of the same stuff. So cover and divide, just practice that. Cover and divide. All right, next page. All right, let's see what you can do. Look for the same coordinate. If you find it, circle it. Okay, moving on. Solve by plugging, this is a substitution. So solve by substitution. Pause to give it a shot. I want you to try it. Plug each one of those into each other. Okay, here we go. Negative 5x minus 9 is equal to negative 4x plus 2. Now solve for x. So maybe that part you needed help with, but now you can solve for x. Try it, pause it, and see. So we're going to add 4x to both sides, and we're going to add 9. These cancel. This is negative x. That's 11. And then we divide negative 1 on both sides. X equals negative 11. And that's only half our answer, right? The solution. Negative 11, comma, we still need the y. All right, so now you pick which one you want to plug in, top or bottom. They're both the same. I'll just choose the top. Y equals negative 5 minus 11. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like when we plug it in. Negative 5 times negative 11 is 55. And 55 minus 9 is 46. And that's what y is. So we go back up here and write 46, and that's our solution. On this one, you just read the coordinate. See if you can find where they meet. They meet right here. See if you can find where they meet. Count over and then count down. Okay, over how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Over 5. So that means that it's 5 comma something. If we go up, it's positive. If we go down, it's negative. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down 4. So it's going to be negative 4. Hopefully you got that. Next page. And I'll pause right here and make another video starting with this page right here.